So, in debates, we have this thing called motions. Motions are basically the topic for the debate, and the sentencing of it is usually this house followed by an action or a statement. Now, aside from starting with this house, there aren't really any rules for how a motion is supposed to look like. Now, nevertheless, there are many conventional formats that debating competitions usually follow. So, and for young debaters, there are only a few that should really concern you because the more advanced versions are unlikely to actually come up during your early debating careers. So, the few that will actually matter, for now at least, are this house would, this house believes, and this house supports/opposes. So let's give a quick rundown. Now you might already have an idea of what each of these are just by hearing them, but nevertheless, let's give a quick rundown of what each of these are. So this house would is what we call a policy motion. Now in it, the proposition, the government, is trying to pass a policy, and they have to put a mechanism in place for how that policy is going to be passed. So they have to detail who's going to implement this policy, how it's going to be implemented, where it's going to be implemented, are there any exceptions to this policy, etc. And the opposition, on the other hand, will be trying to find holes in this mechanism and, if possible, give an alternative, a more efficient and better alternative to the mechanism that the government has put in place. So that's pretty much what this house would is. The other motion is this house believes. Now, this house believes takes a completely different direction than the one that this house would took. So while this house would has to deal with hard ground on reality, truth, basically stuff is getting implemented, policy is getting passed. This house believes does away with that. All it cares about is that it gives you a statement, and you have to simply prove that it is whether or not it's true or whether or not it's false. So it would be something like, this house believes that the United Nations has failed. Now, you're not passing anything here, you're not working on anything here or giving a mechanism for anything. You're simply given the statement, and your entire goal as the government is simply to prove that this is true. That's it. And the opposition, on the other hand, would simply be doing the opposite, which is prove that it is false. That's what this house believes. Is pretty much it. And this is pretty much one of the most common variations of a motion that you will come across in your early time debating. And the last, but definitely not least, is this house supports and this house opposes. So this house supports is very simple. Is a very simple form of motion. All you're doing here is the proposition. The government is giving a concept, and you have to prove that this concept is good. That's it. The opposition will simply have to prove that it is bad. So it doesn't get simpler than that, basically. This house opposes, on the other hand, you're basically doing the same thing, just the other way around. You're giving a concept or even a potential trend or something, and you have to show why you oppose it, why you think it's a bad thing, or if it's a trend, why you think that you should condemn it right now, before it gets worse or something. The opposition, on the other hand, will either have to show their support for the thing that the government is opposing, or prove why prove why opposing it in the first place is bad in and of itself. So those are the most basic forms of motions that you'll likely come across. There are many other kinds, but they shouldn't concern you for now.